So this thing's at 50 degrees already, and I'm conscious that people have commented on the video. I'll flash them up, couple of positive points made. Some things I'm not sure what point is trying to be made, but what we're testing for is whether or not the output is being capped by temperature, and it probably isn't being capped right now, but as we get into summer, it will be, right? The operating temperature is -30 to 60 degrees Celsius. The device itself is already getting to 60 degrees Celsius, and so when we get into 40-degree days, it's going to go above 60 degrees Celsius, right? So it's not going to be able to hit its 5700 watt target. So it's not happening right now. We're doing this, sort of for later on sort of scenario. The data sheet says that ambient temp at 40 degrees will cause these things to start backing off, right? So yeah, we want to try and keep this thing as passively cool as we can, or in this case, we're actually going to put a fan on it, and we're going to try and cool it down a little bit more, right? Any electrical equipment, it says, oh yeah, it might operate up to 60 degrees or 70 degrees. Great. It'll last longer if you keep it cooler. Like, that's just a thing, They're electric components inside. They degrade when they get hot. They don't last forever. So probably didn't explain myself too well yesterday. I did mention at the beginning of the video that everything is operating in spec, as in it's all within the operating margins that Victron says it can be. So it's not going to burn down. When the ambient temperature is 10 degrees hotter, and it will be consistently 10 degrees hotter in Australia, from mid-December onwards, I want to try to give this thing the best chance it can have to operate, at the highest potential. So this is more about an efficiency gain than anything else. Not, we're not stating that anything's wrong here. So anyway, the two blokes who commented, appreciate the comments anyway, appreciate the feedback. If you've got feedback, throw it in the comment section. We'll respond to it, we'll pay attention to it. Anyway, this is the wire that we chucked in yesterday. I'm wondering if maybe I should pop the shunt lid off and attach it to the shunt. Nah, we'll just go over to the we'll go over to the servo controller with it. So I'm just going to break out one wire, pop it into the relay input on the other side, and we should be good to go. It's not hot enough yet, obviously, because we're not producing enough power. Can you see that? This little camera struggles to see the servo controller sometimes. We're nowhere near the potential we need to be at for this thing to get warm and that fan to actually make a difference. So yeah, I'll sort this wire out and I'll come back shortly. Right, well, this is the first time I'm checking to see if my microphone works while I'm capturing my screen. We installed the cameras, not the cameras, sorry, we installed the fans yesterday. I have shut down all other charge sources except for the MPPT 150 by 45 and the 250. I've only got the MPPT 150 by 45 running because effectively we need to be able to fill this battery up today. So the sun is not exactly aligned with this array. The panels on the east side of the shed are getting hit hard, but the ones on the west side are not getting hit hard. So I've shut everything down with the intention that I want the MPPT to get hot, and I also want it running at its maximum potential when we get closer to the, when the sun is in the opportune location. So we're not charging with too much power at the moment. That's okay. There's some other work that we had to do. There was a comment on the video about these Ruby tags. Had a quick look. They stock them in old tech, so I'll go and grab one, and we'll see if we can set this up to take the temperature from the Ruby tag. Anyway, in the meanwhile, so we've got 4200 watts coming in. While we're waiting for the sun to get into the right location, we'll go and do the node red bit. So for those of you that are not familiar with MQTT, the servo controller itself can publish messages about its current state. So I've had mine turned on for so long that I actually can't remember where the setting is. Let's have a look. I think it's under services. or is it under IO? Ah, there it is. Okay, so we've got this MPPT on LAN. I can show you what that looks like. So I'll just send a wake up. Oh no, it's already woken up. Send a wake up message to it. You can get all the feedback about your system. So obviously I've been using this to figure out what I wanted to do this morning. If we go to the battery, for example, there is detail about the battery, the current going into the battery, the current power going in the battery, and the current voltage of the battery, as an example. So what's happening here is the servo controller is running MPPT itself, and there is a mechanism on the servo controller that is publishing messages to the broker, the MPPT broker. So what we're doing is, in Home Assistant, we can subscribe to these. So this is an example of one of the topics from the system. We can subscribe to them, but we can also publish to them. The relay output on my system, which is this one here, is going to get the value of this toggle button. So in this case, the value of the toggle button is 0 or 1. That gets pushed to the MPPT topic, and the subscriber at the other end will see the state which is destined for relay 1, and it'll apply that state to that relay. If you wanted more in-depth information on how to get data out of this and what to do with it and how to automate things, I'm happy to do that. But for the context of the video, I have a dashboard. It has a relay on it, and if we open and close it, that is switching the relay on and off on the servo controller. So if I bring up this and we grab, you got to keep it awake. This is the problem. It'll actually go to sleep. So this message just here tells it to stay awake. You just send it every now and again, it'll come back on. So this is the state of the relays. Relay 0 is currently not, the other relay's not showing up. Oh no, we're on the battery, that's why. Oh, there you go. That's an interesting point anyway. The BMV's got a relay on it, and you can control that relay in exactly the same way. If we go to, was it system? It was under, let's have a look. System 0. So the system is the servo controller in the context of this. So underneath the unique ID of the install system, that is the servo controller, where the battery is obviously the BMV, and well, it's not even the BMV in my scenario, it's a link shunt. But it does have a relay output on it. There we go, relay 1. Alright, so relay state 1 is on, and this is gonna, yep, playing video games, don't tell no one. Relay state is off. Relay state's on. So there's a tiny delay there, but not enough for us to be concerned about. So, what do we got here? Let's have a look. 150 by 60. Where is our big one? What's going on? Fronius, shed, shunt. Large 250, here we go. That's not yield though. Yield's here. Alright, the problem is that the light's fluctuating too much to actually get a reasonable idea if this is going to work or not. So, but what I'll do is, I'll drag that out, put it down here, make it bigger, because we like that, and I'll set it to 3 hours. What have we got? Lock this widget. No, I don't want to do that. Where? There it is, 24 hours. Last 3. We come back down to the bottom. Alright, we've got a couple of drops here. I assume that these are caused by clouds getting in the way. And we are tailing off a little bit. I don't think we'll accurately be able to do this until that thing is more aligned with the sun. Okay, so power cable coming out of the power supply is now being intercepted by the relay. We've got the negative from the power supply coming up into the common, and then we've got the grey and black wire as the negative going to the fans on the normally open side. So we should hear a small click. Here it is. Right, the fans should be running. I suppose I should have left the back of this off to, I can feel air getting sucked through there. It's going to be real hard for me to pick that on camera, but now that we know that, we'll see if the temperature drops at all. I mean, we're not expecting it to drop anyway, right? It's still doing work. It is dropping. Oh no, it's not. We're going back up. Let's let this thing warm up. Let's switch that relay. Is there a way to switch the relays on and off from here? I'm not even sure. Never even tried it. Where are we? Fronius, battery, grid. That's weird. You think something like that. Oh, there it is, relay. There we go. Relay 2 is in manual mode. I should have mentioned that as well. If you intend to control these relays, oh god, I keep forgetting about this. Camera can't actually see this. If you want these relays to be controlled by the MPPT, you've got to put them in manual. Oh look, there's a temperature. How do we configure that? Temperature control rules. Oh, there is none. Okay. I assume. It's working off battery temperature sensor. Gotcha. That's cool. Never used that feature, but I suppose what we could have done is dragged out an extra temperature probe, but we're not going to do that. Put this back to manual. And so yeah, we can validate that works in both directions. Now, obviously doing it from here will put it in out of sync with whatever's going on the on node red or in Home Assistant. So I wouldn't go messing with it too much here. We'll let this thing warm up, and we'll come back and see if that fan actually has an impact on the temperature or not. So we're getting to the really hot part of the day, and we're back to 60 degrees with the fan running. So I'm going to shut the fan off again and see if it flips back the other way. Just for reference, I am recording this on a piece of paper to see when the temperature's up and when the temperatures are down. Generally speaking, it looks like the MPPT is about 2 degrees cooler, 2 to 3 degrees cooler when the fan is running than when it's not. So anyway, we'll keep logging this data and see what we come up with. Wow, 70 degrees, 71. So that temperature's gone right up, man. So the fan does something. Well, it appears to do something. Still a bit early to say that. We're going to go fire that fan back up. So we're at the middle of the day now. Hottest point of the day. I don't think these panels are going to get to 5700 watts today because I think they're getting heat soaked. So yesterday was better because it was overcast. Sun, sort of poked its head out from behind the tree or behind the clouds, and we got 5700 watts. We're not going to get it today. Currently at 5300 watts. I'm still content that the fan is doing something because we're averaging 68 at the moment, 69, 71. So let's fire that up. I'll come back in half an hour and we'll check it again and see if that's dropped. I expect that at this point of the day it'll be consistent for the next 2 hours. Oh, I think the proof's in the pudding there, isn't it? We're still at roughly the same output. I've opened up the sheet on the back, by the way, so just ignore that flapping around. Proof is in the pudding. Temperature's back down. So 61, it was at high 70s before. Well, sorry, high 60s, close to 70. So far out. All right. So the fan is a winner. Even though it's not actually throttling us at the moment. It's not throttling us mostly because the panels are hot right now. Plenty of sunlight out there, but they're heat soaked themselves, so they're degrading in the performance of the panels is degrading in the sunlight anyway. So I could get out there and spray them with a hose, but that could also do other bad things, so I'm not going to do that. I think I'll post up the data I captured throughout the day. I've got some more work to do at the moment, so I can't do it right now, but I'll get it done before I post this video. I think it's pretty clear to see that, yeah, you put a fan on this thing, that the panels are now currently in the most opportune sun, so this is when I expect it to be producing the most power. and this thing should be hot, right? The temperature has dropped, so the sun is moving into an even better position to produce even more power, but the temperature of this thing is coming down, and I think we can safely attribute that to the fan. So we haven't seen an improvement in output because we're not able to actually saturate the MPPT, but the fan uses like 5 watts of power, worth it in my opinion, like in a nutshell. What I'll do is see how the budget looks over Christmas. Maybe we'll throw another 4 panels onto this. I'm sure I can squeeze them in somewhere, and we'll push this thing well and truly up closer to 7 kilowatts of commissioned solar, and we'll repeat this again when we know we can saturate it. It is possible I could find some additional panels, maybe. I don't think that the repeatability of over summer is going to be there in the test. Like, it's only going to get hotter, the ambient temperature is only going to increase, the panel performance is only going to decrease as the temperature goes up. So unless I can find a real cool day to repeat this, look, that's dropping right off. That must be dropping off because of the state of charge. Why is that dropping? Oh no, maybe it's just some clouds. Oh no, we're not even close to charge. This never happens because we've usually got so much solar going on that this would be charged by 10 o'clock, and it's now nearly 1 and it's not charged yet. So let me go and fire up all the chargers and get the MPPT. Someone asked a question, and I'll look into it. Someone asked if I've been having issues with these getting to 45 degrees and then turning off. The answer is I haven't, but also because these are outside, their fan profile is set to run at maximum. So I'm going to try and repeat, I'll flash the guy's comment up. I'll try and repeat what he's stated in his comment and see if we can't have one of these things shut down. If I remember right, this one makes the most power. This is the one that's most likely to get the hottest, so that's the one we'll do. We'll do it to both. We'll put the fan profile on. We'll see if we can switch the fan off. I don't think you can, but you can certainly put it on a silent profile, and the silent profile should let it get warmer. If we see it dropping off, that will confirm what he's seeing. So let's just fire these things back up. I'm going to go and fire up the other solar array, even though it's now facing in the wrong direction. Let's see how much power we can ramp this thing up to. I'm pretty sure the charge current limit at the moment is like 200 amps, but we'll set it to 200, set it 300 and see if we can get it to go right up. So just going through the self check. So the bulk of our solar is west facing, and in Western Australia it's pretty good. It's the best place to sort of point it, unless you can get it sort of west northwest. Possibly better, but so we've got a mixture of north facing and west facing with a very, very small amount of east facing. So they're firing up. 200 watts, that won't take long. MPPT, sorry, the servo's not seeing them yet, but it will. Settings, come on. We can trigger the scan. Find. Scanning, let's have a look. See, alright. Now, obviously we're still using power. You just had the fan cycle down on that. Fan cycling down on that probably because the AC power is being offset by the AC coupled inverters. So this thing doesn't actually do any work now. It doesn't need to. It's got plenty of power coming from elsewhere. I didn't switch off any of the loads inside the house either. Silly bugger. Anyway, I think we can leave it there. I think it's clear that the fan made a difference. Haven't determined whether or not we can increase our throughput because we're unable to saturate the MPPT today. But a 10 degree difference is significant if you ask me. So I've asked my partner to pick up the Ruby tag. So somebody asked us to do to see if we could integrate the Ruby tag in, automate some stuff off the Ruby tag. So we're going to try that, and I'll have a crack at overloading some of these Fronius inverters and see if we can get them to drop out on a temperature threshold. Now what's that one going to? That's at 2457, but that's already throttling by the look of it. Correct me if I'm wrong. state 560. That is in response to the phase shift, I think. So yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to see any peak outstanding peak numbers today. We're sort of gone past it. The east-facing gear is producing power, but the west-facing gear is producing power, but the north and the east-facing gear is not going to produce much. So as long as I get the battery charged, who really cares? Anyway, I'll see if I can source some other solar panels, and if I can, I'll come back and see if we can saturate this thing. That's all.